Oh, it looks like I'm live. I didn't know I was live yet. So hello. Are you ready to discover who you are? Are you looking to align with a calling in your heart? If you're at a crossroads in your life and you're searching for peace, clarity, and courage, you are in the right place. Welcome to the Dare to Decide Global Release Party. I'm Hope Flansburg. I'm an author, wellness, and self care educator, and I am proud to be your MC for this evening. We're broadcasting live from Colorado and Ontario, Canada. We love the fact that you're joining us, but we want to hear where you're at. So please post in the comments below what city and or country you're watching from. Like we said, this is a global launch party. So we are coming from all over. So let us know. We're super excited to have you here. So in a little bit, I'm going to introduce you to the insightful author of Dare to Decide. But first, I want to give you a few logistical details. This book tonight truly is about connecting with you. So to make sure that you don't lose the live stream, please click follow and like. This way, if for some reason we're disconnected, you can find us easily again. If you hear something that you like, let us know with that thumbs up sign. If you hear something you love, well, that's what the heart's for. Also, I've had the privilege of reading this book over, let's say, the last 3 weeks, and there are so many people out there that need to hear about this book right now. So please share this event to your pages, invite your friends, invite your family. If you're not sure how to share the live stream, all you need to do is click the share button below. Let me know if you guys can see it. You can also tag friends by using the @ sign, the little A with the circle around it. So what I'm going to do now is give you a few moments to do this as we continue on with our global launch party. So tonight, if you share, let us know that you shared. So when you're finished sharing, just type shared in the comments. This is super important for us getting the word out about the global launch party and the book Dare to Decide. So we're going to be giving prizes away as we move through the evening. So stay tuned. We have some really good prizes we're going to be giving out. So you want to be a part of that. So to give you a little bit of insight about what we're going to do tonight, we have a few goals. First, we want to let you know more about the book Dare to Decide, Discovering Peace, Clarity, and Courage by Emily Grabatin. So you can get unstuck in certain areas of your life. We want to help raise Dare to Decide to a bestseller status in its category on Amazon, so others who need this book can have a better chance of discovering it. But what's really exciting is Emily got a hold of me right before we went live, and because of the pre-sales, it has already hit #1 in a couple of its categories. So I am so thrilled to announce that. Last, we're going to celebrate Emily and her dedication to a dream and a message that God put into her heart. So again, like I mentioned before, throughout the night, we're going to be drawing names for door prizes and announcing winners. So there's going to be 3 ways to enter to win. And so the #1 way is register for the party through an Eventbrite ticket in the next 5 minutes. And I believe our James, who is kind of our Facebook commentator for the evening, is going to put that link below. So again, register for this party through an Eventbrite ticket in the next 5 minutes. #2, we want to connect with you. So commenting during the live stream to let us know you're here, let us know what you like. We'll go into a little bit more detail about that in a minute. And then #3, enter your Dare to Decide book receipt. So if you've already purchased the book on pre-sales on Amazon, or if you're purchasing it today, you're going to want to go to daretodecide.ca and enter the book receipt, and you can be entered into a drawing. So plus there's a bonus for anyone who, I already said that, who pre-ordered the book and is ordering it today. So you can collect, I'm just reminding you. Again, daretodecide.ca. So where do you get the book, you ask? I believe our wonderful moderator, James, is going to post the link in the comments below. So order your copy. And a lot of you might be asking, why today? Why do we need to order today? because it does help Dare to Decide get noticed by those who might need it most right now by hitting one of those number one spots in its category. So we really want to get the word out about this book. So now I'm going to talk to you about Emily Grabatin. So Emily is a purpose and calling coach certified through Leadership Coaching Canada. She's had 17 years experience in ministry, and she's had a passion for writing since she was 13. So Emily infuses hope into dormant and God-called dreams. Through coaching, writing, and leadership, she helps other individuals recognize who they are, uncover what makes them feel alive, and streamline their focus so they can flourish. She lives with her husband, James, and daughter, Lexi, near Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. So please join me in giving author of Dare to Decide, Emily Grabatin, a warm welcome.
Hello. I'm here.
Hello, you're here. Oh, I'm getting chills.
I know, me too. This is awesome.
Emily, you have been working towards this day for the last 4 years. How are you feeling right now?
Really excited and relieved.
Yeah, I can imagine. So I know people from all over the world who've been eager for this book released today. A lot of them are online with us. So just a quick prompt again, since we can't do this in person, we're doing this virtually. We can't see everybody's faces. And because we really want to give Emily the kudos that she deserves with all of this, here's what I want you to do. In moments that you would normally applaud, I want you to hold down that like or heart button and let us know. And if a word or phrase that Emily and I talk about over the next time that we're talking resonates with you, type it in the comments because we really want to connect with you. So I've had the pleasure of diving into kind of an instant friendship with Emily about 1.5 years ago, and then into the book a few weeks ago. So getting to know Emily on a personal level and now reading this book, it's as if her messages are not only speaking to my soul, the words on each page also speak from my heart. So I am super excited now to share more of her with all of you as we continue with this book launch. So Emily, I'm going to say that a lot tonight. So Emily, in a nutshell, tell us what your book is about.
All right. Well, the book is for people who aren't sure what they want in life. It's for people who maybe overthink things, or are sure what they want, but not sure they know how to get there or believe that it's possible to get there, which usually blocks us from going forward. Mm-hmm. So because that's who it's for, the approach that I wanted to take with this and helping people along wasn't, here's what you need to do, 1, 2, 3, 4, or hoorah, go find your dream, make a goal, go for it. It was, let me come alongside you. Let's give you permission to feel what you're feeling and think what you need to think through. If you're going to go around with all your thoughts, then let me just go around with them together. And with that, hopefully gentle approach, come alongside you approach, just help people be present with their decision, with their crossroads, with their direction. And with that, just release them into where they need to be next. And along the way, become who they need to be for that step into the future.
And you truly do a beautiful job of that. And I think that's one of the first things that I told you as I was reading your book is that I felt like I had a best friend that was with me. And during these times of not being able to connect so much with the people in our worlds and we're kind of feeling a little isolated and alone right now, having dove into your book and feeling like you were right there supporting me and encouraging me along the way, it is a gift how you've been able to do that and make people feel that when they're reading it. You hit it on the nail, and when people read this book, that's what they're going to feel.
So in some of my invitations, Hope, I told people, Hope, that your book was coffee stained and marked up a little bit. So I just thought maybe you'd want to tell them why that is.
So I have it right here. And I don't know if you can see the coffee stains or not. And it is very marked up because there were so many profound words, not words, but just phrases that it's almost like you were in my mind, just saying what I've thought in different moments and times in my life when I've been at those crossroads. And then, so it literally took me not even probably the first 5 pages, and I was hooked on this book. And we were on a camping trip. So this book went everywhere on my camping trip with me. It went in the boat. It went on the ATV. It went by the fire. It was everywhere with me. So it is kind of a mess, but it truly is one of those because you do feel like you have your friend walking along with you as you were reading it. It was really comforting and really reassuring. So I did. And it's still, since I've been home from my camping trip, it is by my side pretty often.
Love that.
So
That's great.
So we talked about door prizes. Let's give away our first door prize. So our first prize is going to be a copy of this fabulous book, Dare to Decide. Don't forget, there's 3 ways to be entered to win: registering for this party through the Eventbrite ticket, commenting during the live stream to let us know you're here, and then entering your Dare to Decide book receipt into the website is daretodecide.ca. So let me see where I might find a winner. Where might I see that at?
We've got us a 10-second delay too, so.
Okay. All right, so we're going to look at the winner. So what I will do is I will probably just go on and then I will announce that winner here in a second as it comes up. So Emily, oh, there we go. Emily, will I see it in my chat?
As soon as it's posted, then James will probably bring it on screen and we'll see the winner together.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay. So the title, again, Dare to Decide, Discovering Peace, Clarity, and Courage at Life's Crossroads. So, Emily, we've talked a lot about the book already, but I don't know if I ever actually asked you this question. What was your inspiration behind the book?
Well, part of the inspiration, actually, the inspiration to write a book, like I said, was there since I was 11, 12, 13. I've got a box of books in my basement of novels that I started. So I actually dreamed that I was going to write novels and have them published. And it was about 4 years ago. I was had one of those like epiphany moments, those flashbacks to I was about 17. And I remember like the place in my bedroom, sitting on my bed thinking, one day, I must have been like just on the verge of, or maybe I was 18, just on the verge of like getting a job and entering like real life. It looks like we have a winner.
You do. I didn't want to interrupt you. Jocelyn, is it Jocelyn Nichols?
Jocelyn Nichols, congratulations. You won the book. Awesome.
Yay!
We'll get that to you. And so I was sitting on my bed and I had this flashback to remembering when I was 17 and thinking someday, when I'm, my dream was to have 4 kids and I thought I was going to be a stay-at-home mom and maybe have a job or, someday I'll have enough time to write books and publish them because I'll have all the time in the world. I don't have 4 kids. I have 1 and a full-time job and coaching on the side. And I was thinking, oh, I'm 38. I guess and middle-aged was in there too. And I was like, I think I'm middle-aged now. And there's like no book being written. I guess I have to make this happen because I just knew instantly if I reached the end of my life and I hadn't had a book written and published, I would have been disappointed with myself. There would have been regret. So it's kind of like, I better do something about this. And I thought, well, I couldn't get in the mindset of the youth and young adults that I was writing back then. So I'm like, okay, what if I write this book now? And what would I have to write about? And I'm like, there's nothing new under the sun. What do I have to write about that hasn't been written already? Probably nothing. So, and what am I an expert in? Well, I thought, well, I'm an expert in indecision and complicating things. And, you know, I'm like, and then I was remembering some of the books. I was very goal oriented and pursue your dream and have a passion and live on purpose. I love those things.
Yes. Yeah.
But I was like, a lot of the approach felt like, here's your system to finding your purpose, or here's a goal. Know your goal. You should know your goal. You should know what you do in life. Set your action steps and go for it. And it was kind of like, there's something wrong with you if it didn't work out. But up to that, my life, most of the time, I had 5-year plan. I couldn't make a 5-year plan. There was surprises that came into life that just turned life upside down. Things like divorce, like moving, like just uncertain how to navigate, emotions or ups and downs. And so I was like, well, what happens when life doesn't go when you planned? How do you do a 5-year plan? How do you live what you need to? And so I thought, well, what if my approach was just coming alongside people and letting them know, giving permission to be that way instead of this decisive, be a decisive leader,
Right.
make quick decisions. What if it was okay to be cautious about it? What if it was okay to take your time and figure it out along the way? And the more I was like, okay, this is my topic. And I made a list of my defining moments. That's chapter 1. Made a list of my defining moments and just kind of looked, how did I come to be where I am today? What did I learn? And from that, I'm like, oh, that's kind of it. What if I'm the person that comes along the side, the people who know what they want from life or how to get there. And I know that I did that in my life and just gave me this space to figure it out and call it out and speak it into me.
Yeah.
That made me flourish. And so I thought, what if I can be a book that's just like that? And so that was kind of the vision. I didn't know how it was all going to come apart together, but that's what I set out to do 4 years ago. And that was the inspiration for the book.
Well, and it really, I mean, look where you're at now. Like you said, you didn't want to hit the end of your life and not have that book published. And here it is. Today it is available for everybody. But I think what you just said comes out in every page that's written. And I think the biggest thing is giving people permission that it's okay to take your time. It's okay to think things through. It's okay to keep moving forward, but at your own pace. Not everybody is in the same race.
And you know what it felt like when I made that decision writing the book, at the time, I probably, if I thought about it hard enough, I would have known I'm not the only one. But when I thought, but it was more from a guessing point of view. I'm like, what if I'm not the only one? What if someone out there needs this approach? But once I decided to write the book and talked about it more and spoke about it as if it was already being written and coming together, even though I struggled with self-doubt and figuring, how do I say, what am I saying?
Yeah.
The more people said, oh, I totally need that book, or like, that's totally how I feel. I don't know I still figuring out what I want to do in life. And that was very interesting. I wasn't expecting that, to realize the more I spoke about it, the more that just invited people with the permission to say, oh, well, that's totally how I am. That was a really cool side effect on there.
Completely. And it is reassuring, and it does give people peace of mind to kind of do it the way that they need to do it, instead of watching everybody around them to do, feeling like, I'm having to do it like everybody else. I mean, it is. And that's how I felt reading it too. It's like, I can make these goals attainable and I can get to that point. But it's really reassuring. There's a lot of compassion and empathy through your words and your stories and your experiences that let the readers know it's okay. It's okay to do things the way that work for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So some people have had the privilege of reading an advanced copy of the book. So if you're watching today and you've had a chance to do this, Emily and I would love if you would share what your thoughts about some of your thoughts about Dare to Decide.
Or some of you might have already started reading the Kindle that dropped into your Kindle today. And I think I heard that someone skipped work or snuck away some at some point because they couldn't wait to read it at work today. So yeah, that was really fun to hear today.
Well, and it's funny. I started this book thinking, oh, because I was on vacation for 10 days and I had, well, not, we were out camping. And I had 9 hours in the car and I'm like, oh, I can read this whole book on my 9 hours in the car. No, it doesn't work that way because it's almost like having a conversation, a deep conversation with somebody that you love and you're really connected with. And sometimes when you have those deep conversations with people that you're really connected with, you need time to process it. You need time to think about it and really take in the depth of the information that you've attained. And so that's what I decided to give myself permission because Emily gives us permission in this book. And so I did. I would read a little bit at a time, and then I would really give myself permission to think about it. And, I won't give too much away, but there are these beautiful guides at the end of each chapter that, again, more food for thought. And the way that she has it just kind of outlined in here is as a guide is just so beautiful. And I loved taking those at the end of each chapter, the dares, I guess you would call them, is what they are.
Yeah.
I love taking them and then spending my day kind of just being with it. And that was kind of my intention for the day is what I would do. So love it.
Yeah. So what we would love is if you, I don't know if they're doing that yet, but to post, if you have read it or started reading it, post what has been your experience so far reading it? How far have you gotten? Been your experience? What's been your takeaway so far?
Yeah, Emily and I want to see those. So let's see. Okay, so I've talked, about my takeaways from the book. Do you have a hope around what you want your readers to take away? I mean, we've kind of
Yeah,
tapped
I would say we kind of dove into that already in a sense that my heart was really not a piece of knowledge to get away, but the permission to just be and acknowledge where you're at right now, who you are right now, and what is, and somehow when you just give yourself that space to want, because I'm someone who lived by a lot of shoulds in life, just wired that way, and it's taken a lot of work to let go of perfectionism or comparison or the shoulds, like I should do this and have this responsibility and live up to this expectation. And so the more that I give myself just time to tune into what is it that I want and feel, and why am I feeling pressured to do this? And a lot of time I'm putting that on myself. So just have that permission to be, then it gives space for what you really want, or the things that God is speaking to your heart and has been whispering for a while. And maybe I've heard this a lot recently. It's like, well, it doesn't feel practical. Writing a book to me didn't feel practical for so many years because I didn't know when it was going to pay off or it's a sacrifice. So that means I'm not spending time with these people or doing this or accomplishing this, and it's not visible. So not everybody understands right away. So therefore it wasn't practical, or it felt maybe not responsible. And the book is permission. I want people to feel that permission to just create that space that you need to make the decision or tune into what it is you want or what it is God's been speaking to your heart, which usually combines with something that you really want. It can feel the same either way. And then from that, you'll follow the process. You'll know the steps to take. And it'll feel like the dare. For me, the word dare was just key around this whole thing because I never thought of it as being brave. It just felt like I needed to take this step, but it felt like it was a huge dare that I had to do. Whether the first dare in the introduction was dare to believe in myself. Dare, not just believe in myself. Actually, I wasn't sure about that, but I knew other people believed in me, and I knew that God believed in me, and
Mm-hmm.
God had this compelling for me, and I had to kind of sit up straight and realize, oh, I'm kind of the odd one out here. I guess I better believe in myself. I don't want to
Yeah,
be the
you got
only
to
one
get on
holding
board.
myself back. And that's what I want for somebody else, is
Yeah.
what I want most from the book.
Well, it sounds like another theme of it is dare to desire as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's well, and I read that in the book, but just what you talked about just now as well is giving yourself permission to desire.
And it's not the want of, I want this, this, and this, or I want this grandeur. There's a desire, what I call it a deeper desire or a
Mm-hmm.
directional desire. There's a
Yeah,
deeper desire. There's a reason why you want what you want. And
yeah,
when I say desire, that's usually what I'm referring to.
yep.
Yeah.
And
So do we have any comments yet?
yeah, Cecilia said no, shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Nice.
And it's funny you say that. I think that all the time. There's so many, and I've done it myself over the years. I've kind of had to reframe my mind, but a lot of us should ourselves a lot. We've
Yeah.
just that shoulding, should. So, why do you feel right now is the best time for this book to be released?
Oh, Hope. I had like 4 deadlines for this book. This book was supposed to be out like November and then January. You know, those goals before I know all the little steps that have to go in between and how long steps we're taking. And then the day kind of COVID came crashing down in March. Also, my first thought was, what in the world is going on? And my second thought was, no, my book's supposed to launch in May. There can't be a pandemic. And
Right.
and then I, thought a million other things. But then the more I relaxed into that and thought, okay, God, if you told me to write this book, I've stuck with this. This isn't just me and my passion. I just knew God was, every time I felt like I was getting stuck in life the last 4 years, I would go to God and I would say, God, like, help me. Why am I stuck? Like, is it a mindset thing? Is it that I'm not hearing you? And all I would sense him say for like a year straight was like, go write your book. And I was like, I wanted to do everything else, something more productive, something more seeable. And finally, I was like, okay, I'm going to write that darn book.
Mhm.
And got serious about it. And so when the pandemic came and the timing was all off, and I knew, okay, we're going to do a virtual launch and it's not going to be live, and all of these delays, I was like, all right, God, this is yours. And somehow this is your baby. So if you want it to launch in a pandemic, that's okay. And then all of a sudden I realized, actually, this book is all about making decisions and facing crossroads and uncertainty. And I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
God, you couldn't time this better. And it's not, it's uncertainty all over the place.
It
Things
is.
that you had planned are upside down.
Mhm.
Dreams that you had to second guess. People are losing, less careers. There's famous people in sports and
Yeah.
in, schools, first generation students. There's articles, first generation students are the first one in their family to ever graduate. And it's a huge, like, their whole family has been looking forward to this moment, and they don't get that live graduation celebration that is like momentous to the legacy in their family. I think it's
Yeah.
not just me and my book. It's not just me, like, what are we doing for school in September?
Mhm.
There's dreams that feel like for some people are going down the dream and they don't know what that means. And I mean, those are just a few things. So I just, in the middle of uncertainty, I just figure, God, there's a reason why you need this, people. And it's a book, and a reason why it's a book that doesn't have answers for someone. It's a space for you to create, to realize how you're feeling in the midst of it, and what do you need to come up with, and trust your
Yes.
intuition with what you know now and what you can do with it with right now. And I'm like, wow. Okay,
Which
God.
is beautiful, because your coaching background really comes through in how you do that. Because like you said, instead of giving people the answers, you're helping guide them along the way to find their own answers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and you talk about that God wanted you to write this book. And I'm really glad you shared that, because when you read this book, you'll see, I think it's so apparent in just how he's using you as a messenger to share so many beautiful things that can help, well, one, really resonate with people in their hearts and their souls, but also just allow them to get closer to him too. This really is um, and maybe the words divine intervention, I don't know, but you can tell just that you had so much support in your faith when you wrote this. It's just, I can't say enough good things about it. It's truly probably one of the best books I've ever read. I've been telling everybody that, and I'm not just saying, I don't just say that. People who know me know
That's what's so fun. I love that, Hope. Yeah.
I don't just say that to anybody.
Yeah.
So, I do. It is just a phenomenal book. So, what has been your favorite part? I mean, we've been kind of on this author writing journey together. And so, what has been your favorite part on your writing journey, and your least favorite part?
I think I have this love-hate relationship with writing, because I've always said I love writing, but when I go to sit down and do it, it feels like this grueling process. And so some of the moments that I loved it was when I realized not to edit and just plunk down whatever was in my mind and finding my unique ways of how I needed to do that in each season. And there's that love-hate thing with every time that I was stuck. It just felt like it was stop, go, stop, go, stop, go. And so like exasperated with myself, and just realizing finding new, like unique ways or different ways of how to get unstuck. Sometimes it was facing my fear. And of course, in the midst of it, it was brutal. But then after realizing, oh, I came through that. Oh, that's what I needed to do. And another part, even in the editing phase took just over a year. And realizing I couldn't do it alone anymore. I was too close to it. I couldn't see it objectively anymore, and connected me with some really special people to read it as a beta read and ask for their feedback back on it. And then all of a sudden that would renew it, saying, oh, maybe this is going to help somebody. I'm not just writing words on a page. And so I think just the sense of victory of overcoming the blocks along the way was a really cool thing.
So a lot of you connect with a lot of authors in your life, in your world, in your activities. A lot of them have asked about publishing this book. So can you share with us a little bit about the publishing journey for you and what that looked like?
Yes. And so one of the things when you have a dream, when I was 17-year-old, of course, the part of the dream that goes with even into my 20s, the dream was, a traditional publisher, that feeling of being chosen, right? And I would go to writing workshops, or I would read tons of books on it and realize, okay, part of this process is rejection. You write a letter, query letter, you reach out to an agent or a publishing, and you'll probably get a rejection letter back. And, basically you aren't an author unless you have to pick yourself up off the ground and face the rejection and write another letter. And that's what I imagined was going to happen. And then as the industry changed and ebooks came out and self-publishing was, I'm like, okay, what if there's a different way? And as I started purpose coaching as well, and I started thinking, well, what is another way? And so 4 years about the year that I was writing the book, and I'm researching, my radar is up for all of these things. I came across, I watched a lot of webinars and information, but there's one person that just kept coming up, and I watched the webinar probably 3 times over 3 years, just thinking about it and getting scared. And I'm like, no, I can't do that. And it was called Author Academy Elite. And what it ended up being was this marriage, or this hybrid of traditional publishing, where if you knew what you want and what you're all about, and you wanted to, if you wanted to do more than just write a book, if you wanted to create other resources to help people, other income streams from the book, and not just kind of hide away in an office and write books. If you wanted to take a message that was important to you further than that, you're probably a good candidate for this publishing company. And they kind of had the quality of traditional publishing with the the tools and the freedom and the royalties of self-publishing, plus a whole lot of coaching and support and community along the way. And that was a beautiful thing. When I came to the decision, realizing, okay, I've come to this crossroads, realizing I need something, and I know traditional publishing isn't it anymore. It didn't fit what I wanted for this. And I'm like, I need support. I need to know there's other people in this, because I would look at someone who was 2 steps ahead, or I'd have books on my shelf. And when I was stuck, and I would look at the books on my shelf and say, okay, those guys read a book. They finished it. They faced everything that I'm feeling. They did it. So I'm like, I want a community of people who are doing this too. I'm tired of doing this by myself. And so I started going to writers meetups, starting writers groups, and then this coaching program just walked through. How do you publish the book? What are all the steps? The community, the tears, the wrestling, and this beautiful thing came together with the publishing. So actually, we can drop that link in the comments, because anyone who's interested in writing the book, we'll drop the link of a webinar where you can watch that and research. You should know questions to ask and what you need to know for anyone publishing a book, whether you're going to go traditional or self-publish. There are things you need to know, questions you need to ask, and you need to know your stuff. And so this is a really good way to start. Very, very informative. So I'm so happy that I went with them just for that companionship. And if you are an AE author, you can wave your hand or hoot and holler online. Give us some hearts. I know we've got some watching here today.
Yes, thank you guys.
And Hope, and I know that our next prize is, do you have it?
Right. Yes. So our second door prize. So if you haven't entered yet, remember those 3 ways to enter into get a door prize. And we are going to give away a copy of my book. I'm a fiction romance author. I like to focus on the complexities and dynamics of the modern day family. So I do bring a voice to some deep, hard, and challenging topics that families go through.
Yes,
but they do have.
I avoided reading your book for quite a while. And then you started reading mine. I'm like, oh crap, I actually have to read her book. Like, I don't like reading messy stuff. I want utopia.
Yeah, my stories are messy because sometimes life can get messy. Yeah. And I always say life's not black and white. There's a lot of shades of gray. And my book depicts those shades of gray. So, but they do have a faith-based component. This one particularly has a suspense component in it as well. So get into that drawing. We'll figure out who our next winner is as we continue on.
All right.
All right. So over the next month, you're going to be able to find or order the book in any place you usually purchase new books. Chapters, Indigo, ChristianBooks.com, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, and Target. Tonight, we're highlighting the sales on Amazon. Oh, it looks like we have a winner. Let's see, Katie
Terpstra. Katie Terpstra.
Right. So we'll connect and I will somehow get you that book.
She's Wonderful. In Canada, so
we'll plan on 2 weeks for shipping. No, you're not down there.
In there.
So tonight we're highlighting sales on Amazon to boost the ratings and let others know about this book. So you can really help doing this by placing your order tonight on Amazon.com, and I believe the link is below as well. So Emily, what are some of your next steps when it comes to the vision for this book? Because you talked about that as you were talking about the publishing company, that there's a little bit more.
Well, this was just the start, and I realize I'm very much someone who I spent a lot of years juggling a lot of things and pulling a lot of details together. And I've come to realize I can handle like one big thing at a time. So I'm like, we're just going to launch the book first and then move on to the other things. But we have a discussion like in August. I'm going to be working on the audio recording of this book, and which I love listening to. And I know there's people here who they would much rather listen to an audio book. So that is coming probably October-ish. And but also a discussion guide, because I know people wanted, this is a book, you got to digest it and take your time and talk it out. And so I know there's going to be book clubs that will want to meet, or maybe small groups with church to go through this. And so we'll come up with a discussion guide for that in August. And then a course coming through. I'm looking forward to the conversation around this book. I really hope as you all watching are reading it and you've got your takeaways. I'm someone who just loves to enter in the conversation with something. So I'm hoping you message me on Facebook or send me an email with just your takeaways and your thoughts, because it really is helpful in knowing how everybody's brains are different. How are you experiencing the book? How I'm thinking it's affecting people. Actually, when they talk about it, I'm like, oh, that's the part that hit you. So what I want to create is an experience for people to enter in and walk through some of these key concepts on a deeper level, or zero in on some parts of the book that are an experience. Just kind of camp in that one area for a while. So, course format, workshops, those will be coming along the way in the coming months and next year as well. So,
well, and that's just it, talking to people about this book, because I ordered my copies that I want to give to people so I can talk to people about I've already been talking to people about this book, but just once they start reading it, and then I'm excited for the conversations that can come out of it. And I'm hoping Emily and I are going to collaborate. I hold women's wellness and self-care workshops and retreats at my home here in Pine, Colorado. And as a guide, I am excited to have her and collaborate with her as hopefully a speaker at one of our events in the future, because I've already found things that I'm like, oh, my clients, my participants would absolutely love so much that's in this book. So super excited.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm definitely a collaborator. I've realized how much I can do a lot of work alone, but I really love teamwork too. So I'm looking forward to collaborating with different leaders and just tuning into what are the pain point of what other people are experiencing. Teams, individuals, leaders of leaders, and everybody faces these different struggles. And I love working with authors too in their dream. And often I can see bigger, just like people did with me, see bigger potential than what they're stuck on there. And I love drawing that out and saying, oh, you could do this, this, and this. And so, yes, I'm really excited for phase 2 of this book. Yeah.
Well, and no one is immune to Crossroads. And so whatever that Crossroads looks like for you, you're going to find the support in this book. So,
well, what I kind of say, and I don't know if it's the intro or the first chapter, is that just because you make a decision, like it's called Dare to Decide, and you can make a one-time decision and then that sets you on a path. But along that path comes a million other decisions. Right. And so if you actually hate decision making and are prone to indecisiveness, then you just have to accept, like, okay, how am I going to handle making these decisions? Like, this isn't just for make one decision and you're done. No, I think that's what hit me writing this. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm making a million decisions a day and choices. I'm like, these don't just go away. So how do I make a better system for making these choices so they don't take so much energy on me? And so that's what it's all about too.
Yes, it's wonderful. So who is ready for another door prize? We have another one to give away, which is a Starbucks gift card. So our moderator is going to let us know who the winner is for that. And again, follow the link on Amazon to order your copy today. For those of you who aren't with us live, but are possibly going to be watching the replay, we're going to extend the thank you gift if you place your order by July 30th. So if you've shared this with family, friends, on your pages, again, if they haven't watched it yet, but they do place their book order on Amazon by July 30th, they can get in on that thank you gift as well. So let's see. I want to wait a little bit on our fourth door prize. Let's do our fourth door prize after you talk. Is that okay, Emily?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to kind of wrap up my part, and then we're going to go into you a little bit more. So one thing that I want to point out for those searching for a way to live this journey dream, overcome obstacles with God by your side, this book not only gives you permission to do that, but it shares applicable insight and wisdom to connect with God and trust him while you're on that journey. So thank you, one, for being with us tonight. It's been an honor to be here as your MC. And before we wrap up and do our last and fourth door prize, we're going to let Emily have the final word.
All right. It is really exciting to do this. I think I waited 4 years to write. Part of the blocks I realized in taking this while is that I got comfortable with the behind the scenes. And you'll see that in the book. I am more of a behind the scenes person. I've never really wanted the limelight. I don't need to be acknowledged for a lot of the teamwork that I do. So there was a point even last fall that I realized I was holding back because I realized launching this book meant the entire world could have access to see it. And I wouldn't be on the sidelines anymore. I wouldn't be invisible. And I wasn't sure if I was ready for that. And, you know, in a lot of ways, there was a lot of moments where I had to actually live my book and realize, I just wrote about that. I gotta step it up.
Yeah.
And so really I couldn't do that without God pulling him up, speaking that into me, saying, no, I called you to do this. And you need to, the book's message, become who your dream needs you to be. And I believe in you. And so you can step into that. And realizing I don't have to have it figured out. I'll figure it out along the way. And realizing I'm not doing it alone. I have so many people that are walking that journey, that are ahead of me, wise people who have invested in me, who have come alongside, who I look to, who have mentored me, who I look to as an example of how do I lead? How do I live this? How do I decide this? And so I'm appreciative of all of those people in my life. I'm appreciative for my husband, James, he was my production manager today. And this would not, hopefully it looked good. We had some tech problems earlier, but it definitely wouldn't have been as good as now. So yeah, this is all thanks to him, for the team, my beta readers, and my team who are in my hiding behind this sign in my porch, commenting and pulling door prizes and all of that, trying to make things work well. It has been fun, and I've definitely and Hope, that you were a gift.
Oh.
It was when your name dropped in, and I was thinking for about I was probably thinking about 6 months who would be my MC. And I had a couple names in, and I was like, it was like, oh, but there's this. Like, this didn't quite work out. And then when I realized it would have to be virtual, and one day all of a sudden, I think I was talking to someone, and you popped in my head, and I'm like, I know. And then I was like, I had to send my book to someone in the States, and you were the first one that came to mind, and we're like, well, while you're talking, would you do this? And what I wasn't expecting was your enthusiastic, like, jump all in way to help. And that, in a sense, rescued me, because I was starting to feel tired by all the little glitches that were happening just with just delays with the whole pandemic stuff. So Hope, I want to thank you.
It's been my pleasure and an honor. I've enjoyed being with you on this journey, and you allowing me in this journey with you has been great. I've absolutely loved it. So thank you.
Awesome. And so in the future, we're going to be this again. Like I said, I love being part of conversations. So if you have questions, we'll be having like author question days on Facebook, probably. If you have questions about the book or curious about anything, you can start posting those, putting those together. This is just the beginning of a journey. So I hope you will all journey with me on this.
First day one. Okay, Lori McCarthy Schnur is winner of the Starbucks gift card.
Yeah, Lori.
Yay. Super excited. Anything else, Emily, that you wanted to?
Nope, I think that's it. There's plenty enough for me to say in the book, so I'll be good.
Well, Emily, one of the things that I've loved too is
just the last straw, right?
I said I was going to be done talking, but that never happens.
Do the draw first, and then you'll need a couple of minutes to talk.
Okay. So our last drawing is, let's see, for a 90-minute breakthrough coaching intensive session with Emily. So this is huge, you guys. This is a great door prize. So again, 90-minute breakthrough coaching intensive session with Emily. I might even want to win that one. All about that. So hopefully you're in the drawing, and we'll get a winner here in a minute. And so the last thing that I want to say, Emily, is that I absolutely love your ability to be transparent with your voice and your experiences in this book. You capture so many perspectives through your messages, and you honor those who need the spiritual support on this journey. But at the same time, you respect those who want to connect with the book maybe in a different light. So that way every reader, depending on where they're at in their journey, can take what they need from it and leave what maybe doesn't resonate. And you have such a compassionate and nurturing way that you give your readers permission to do this. And I just want to say that is one of the things that I've absolutely loved, and why I feel this book is just so anybody and everybody can really find some fabulous takeaways from this book. So thank you for putting it out for us.
My heart was to be authentic in it. And so I dove into some of the messy moments where I felt the most at odds with God. And there was very much times where I felt very unspiritual writing those passages, especially knowing I was going to have some pastors reading my book. But I knew I had to make the ground even for everybody. So I went there.
It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. And I know on my spiritual journey too, sometimes I always say I've felt maybe physically connected, maybe doing the things physically and, you know, that I need to do. But sometimes my soul, we're all human, and sometimes our souls. But this book, I think, brings us back to those places that we want to be and really connects us. And that's what I loved about it too.
Awesome.
So, thank you for sharing this with the world. Truly. It's a gift. So yeah, it's a gift. So let's see. Do we have our last winner for that 90-minute coaching session?
See.
We're waiting.
Winners yet? No winners yet?
Not yet.
Good one.
Any other takeaways before, because we aren't going to get off until we find out who the last winner is. So
I know.
Watching, any great comments, or we want to hear from you. I've been seeing tons of hearts and thumbs up and smiley faces going across the screen.
I'm so excited people came on. I mean, your worst fear is that you are going to be doing a video with two people, or that it's dead silence. And I'm an author and a coach. I'm not a speaker. I love conversation style, but the thought of like realizing, okay, am I just talking to myself? So I love that so many people came on and they're celebrating and they're enthusiastic and blowing things up. And really that enthusiasm catches attention. And that's what I want for the, that's what I want for the book is the message. It's not it's about sales, but it's not in the sense of people need to know the message of the book. And so I love that people are already excited about this.
Well, and thank you, truly, thank you for celebrating with us because this is a huge celebration. This is Emily's baby, and it is. We write books because we want to reach people. We want to reach people's hearts, and I know that's from what I know of Emily and the friendship that we've established. I know that that's her goal and vision and mission is to connect and reach people's hearts in a way that other people have reached her hearts, her heart. It's pass it forward, and that's what we want to do, and that's why we write these books. So
Absolutely.
so it is a
we've got a winner coming up soon.
okay.
Just typing it in.
All right, I'm excited to announce it. I bet everyone's on the edge of their seats, waiting to know if they're it. Drum roll.
Who wants this? Write in the comments if this is something that you would love right now this summer in that space that you're in. Okay, who is it?
Jacqueline Thibodeau?
Yeah, Jacqueline.
Yes.
Awesome. I can't wait.
All right. Congratulations, Jacqueline. That is awesome. Super excited. Well, again, thank you so much for celebrating with Emily. There's more to celebrate. There's more to come. Reach out to her. I know she would love to hear from you. And just proud to be a part of this.
That's great. Hope, thank you so much for hosting this. This was amazing. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. And I hope you have a great night.